And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Wisdom Transmissions Live. It's great to be with you all once again today. This is going to be the last Wisdom Transmissions Live for the next couple of weeks because next week I'm going to be in Hawaii. So I will not be able to do a Wisdom Transmissions or a Signpost Live. So just letting you guys know that ahead of time. I'll be coming back on June 15th. So the week after, we'll have the webcasts on their usual schedule. I'm also going to be adding a third webcast when I come back that particular week. The third webcast is going to be the AetherX Healing live stream. That's going to be happening every Friday, starting that particular week, and consecutive weeks after that as well too. And that's going to be our healing webcast, right? I'm also going to be working together with people personally on the webcast, using things like the healing code cards to work together with issues that they have. Also working together with a lot more of the products that we have on AetherX. So it really is a healing webcast. So I'm looking forward to that. Again, that is going to be happening in 2 weeks. So not this Friday, not the Friday after next, but the Friday after that. Okay, that's when it's going to debut. Now this Friday and this Saturday, I'm going to be having a special. This will be a e-course for Radiate. Okay, so there's going to be the free version of Radiate e-course is going to be this Friday. And then the e-course for the Radiate premium version is going to be on Saturday. So it'll be happening here through the webcasts. Looking forward to that. So we're going to be going and looking into how Radiate works, how it functions, the best ways to use both the free version and the premium version. Okay, so I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you guys will join me this Friday and this Saturday. Okay, starting both at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So you can check that out as well too. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started right now with some announcements. Here we go.
Private one-to-one sessions have returned with Brad Johnson and Adronis, with appointment times from 30, 45, and 60 minutes online. Offline sessions including the 3 questions by email and distance healing are now available. Book your session now through our website, wisdomtransmissions.com.
Imagine a technology that can rejuvenate the cells of your body and bring calmness to the mind. This technology is Radiate REGEN. Receive your free 1-hour session with us today by visiting our center in Langley, BC, Canada. Book online at radiateregen.com.
Get readings with Breanne and be astonished at the depth and accuracy she provides for you through her tarot readings. Breanne can create crystal grids for distance healing, plus offer Reiki and Kundalini attunements. She is also a certified Flying Star Feng Shui consultant. Visit Breanne's website and book your session today at readingswithbreanne.com.
Source Energy enhanced products to repair and rejuvenate the body. From the power of light to crystals to bed kits, card decks, and more. View our free samples, tutorials, and testimonials on our website, AetherX.co.
And so today's subject is really going to surround Bosnia. And this is bringing up the Bosnia tour that I'm going to be a part of. It is the AetherX Bosnian Pyramids, an Ancient Healing Tour. This is taking place between September 15th to September 22nd. And not a lot of people are aware of what Bosnia holds in regards to it's not always the most popular destination, but it is probably the most powerful power center on the planet. And I'm going to be talking about that today with Adronis. Adronis is going to be bringing this out. This is not just looking at, a mountainside, looking at something that could be pyramid shaped. There is a pyramidal structure within that particular mountain. And it is by far the largest and the oldest of any other known pyramid on the planet, right? So we're going to be looking into this today. So again, looking at the AetherX Bosnian Pyramid and Ancient Healing Tour. This is happening between the 15th to 22nd of September. We're going to be staying at a beautiful place called the Pyramid Lodge, which is actually just a short distance from the pyramid itself. I cannot explain to you how amazing that energy is going to feel when you're there. It's going to be incredible. We're also going to be going through tunnels, right? We're going to be looking into tunnels, going deeply underneath the pyramid, really feeling the charge of the pyramid. I'm going to be taking crystals and stones together with me. I'm going to be capturing a lot of the vibration of the pyramid as well too, for you guys to take back with you, because you are looking at a healing item that is really going to help you as well too, right? If you basically have, I'll have some crystals on me, right? And I'm just going to imbue the pure energy of the pyramid into a lot of these crystals. And I'm going to hand it out to every participant that is with me, and you take that back with you. That is going to be a very powerful healing stone, very powerful healing crystal, okay? So this is just giving you the idea of what to expect in Bosnia as we're looking at some of the incredible sites, the sacred sites we're going to be seeing. We're also looking at stone spheres, right? We're going to be looking into the purpose of those stone spheres as well too. But we're looking at something that is older than Egypt, right? When we're looking at the pyramid of the sun, the ancient pyramid of the sun, it is colossal, right? And it is about 32,000 years old, right? That is a 32,000-year-old pyramid. Now, if we're looking at Egypt, in actuality, the Great Pyramid of Giza is close to about 20,000 years old, okay? So it is a youngling compared to this particular pyramid. This is not just looking at simple pyramids, because there are 3 pyramids that make up the complex. There's the ancient pyramid of the sun, there's the ancient pyramid of the moon, and there's the ancient pyramid of the dragon. And they basically form a triangle. Adronis is going to be telling you exactly what the purpose of that triangle is. This is not just looking at a simple pyramidal complex. You are looking at probably the most powerful power center in the entire world when you're coming to Bosnia. Right? And this is exactly what's going to be explained. When Adronis, when I bring him in, he's going to be talking on tour as well too. So we'll have some places where we can get comfortable. I can bring him in, and Adronis is going to give you a load of information about the power of this complex. And like I said, being able to take some of this complex back home with you as well too. So we do have a few spots that are available. This is the Pyramid Lodge where we're going to be. So again, you can see here with the Pyramid Lodge, it's right by the pyramid. Okay. So I will tell you, you guys will probably have the most incredible sleep you've ever had. And we're basically spending the entire trip there at this Pyramid Lodge right next to the pyramid. You guys are going to have the sleeping of sleeps. You're going to have the dream of dreams. It's going to be incredible. All right. So come and join me. We still got a few spots left. We're a little bit over half full right now. So we do have some people we do have some spots left. If you want to join us, we're going to have an incredible adventure here. And there have been groups in the past that have gone to Bosnia, but I always try to make my tours very, very different from any other particular tour group, because I've been on those typical tour groups as well too. And they're interesting. Don't get me wrong, they're quite interesting. But I make it a lot more immersive. And I want to basically take you there and basically show you through the heart what it is that Bosnia represents. I did that in the UK. I did that in South Africa. Right, I did that in Mount Shasta, and I'm going to be doing this as well too in Bosnia. So very exciting tour. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of opportunity to develop your own healing ability. You're going to learn how to do resonant dowsing as well too. So the group here that will be with me will learn a lot more about resonant dowsing before I actually teach it publicly. I am going to be doing a basic course on resonant dowsing, just not yet though. Right, I want to basically save it for the people that are on this tour first, because they're going to learn a little bit more about resonant dowsing than what I'm going to be teaching publicly. Okay, not to mention the students in the AetherX Academy are basically becoming experts of the resonant dowsing, and that's not something that I'll be teaching through YouTube. Just the basic 101 in time, but it won't go beyond that. If you want to learn more, number 1, join me on this tour. Number 2, go to AetherXAcademy.com and you can learn it there. Right? One of those 2 options. Anyways, that is the tour that is coming up here for Bosnia, the AetherX Bosnian Pyramids and Ancient Healing Tour. I'll also be bringing some Radiate equipment with me as well too. When I'm talking about equipment, mostly just tablets, and making that available for the participants as well, teaching again a lot more about what Radiate does and how we can even use Radiate for some of the sites that we're going to be going through. All right. Okay, so I will go ahead now and bring Adronis in. So he's going to be talking a little bit more about Bosnia being the world's power portal center. This is going to be very, very exciting. He's not going to give everything away because we do want to save some stuff for the tour, but he's going to be talking a lot about the alignments of the 3 pyramids and what they actually form and what this represents, who may the builders of these pyramids be. All right. So we'll go ahead and take a moment. I'll bring Adronis in and we'll get started. Here we go. After that, we'll get right into Q&A, and we're going to do some group healing today as well too. Okay? No individual requests today, so we're going to save that for another time. but today will be a group healing request. All right. So I'll go ahead and bring them in and we'll get started. Terra Soul Star Sirius Adronis We are here at this time. We bid you greetings and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast being brought forward through your internet collective consciousness. What we'd like to ask all of you to do at this time is simply allow yourselves to get relaxed, get comfortable, and tune in to the vibrations of Sirius so that you may synchronize, harmonize, and align to all of the information that we have to share. Also understand that all of the information that we shall provide today is simply that of our perspective, our point of view. For all knowledge, all information, all creation itself resides within your very hearts, beings, and souls. We will elaborate further on what is termed as Bosnia, the power portal center of your world. When we are looking at the Bosnian pyramids, this is something that does have extraterrestrial influence, right? It was built during a time in regards to where the Earth was in a very powerful state of, shall we say, grand nature. The idea of building these particular pyramids together would serve as a gateway. So when you are looking at the pyramid of the sun, when you are looking at the pyramid of the moon, when you are looking at the pyramid of the dragon, and that they basically create a triangle in regards to their alignment. It is actually replicating certain alignments of the stars pertaining to this pyramid-based alignment through this complex. So again, many of the ancient structures upon your planet will often be positioned in regards to the nature of certain constellations. They will also be in alignment pertaining to certain stars as they draw power directly from those stars. The energy of those stars are completely in alignment together with the pyramids. And so this is exactly not only how the pyramids in that sense function as power centers by just working together with the ley lines of your planet, but the ley lines function in the way that they do because they are also in alignment with the field of stars throughout your cosmos. They are also in alignment appropriately pertaining to your own planetary alignments that again draws power from what you would term as the ley line grid of your planet. So when they are specifically aligned to the greatest degree that they can, and actually we will say that the ancient pyramid of the sun is actually far more in alignment to its center than the Great Pyramid of Giza is. It's not by much, but it would be in that sense very much closer to 1/110th of an inch, approximately. So the whole idea here is that these even have a little bit more greater precision into their alignment than what you would find on the Giza Plateau. These particular pyramids are not really pyramids in that way, but they would function more appropriately to what is referred to as pyramidal glyphs. They are basically what you would know as the square-like pyramids that you would find quite commonly in Chichen Itza or Coba within Mexico. Many of those particular pyramidal glyphs, because they represent much more of a portal system. So they are an energy center. They are an energy nucleus They do represent the idea of power centers. They can generate their own power, but not anymore because their gateways in regards to the functionality of their power generation has been closed off for quite some time. Not because of a threat of war, not because of a threat of a fight or anything of that nature, nothing conflicting. But the idea that the cosmic gates that represent the operation of these pyramids to enable them to function as a portal system are not active at this time. They will be active again in your future, but we would say decades or perhaps even centuries ahead. There needs to be alignments that will take place upon your planet that will enable the pyramids themselves to basically reopen, reactivate, and bring about the greater transformation that they intend. Now, in that sense, your people are eventually going to learn a lot more about pyramid technology. They're going to learn a lot more about how it actually can function as a power center. But you have to understand that pyramid power is a wireless power. It does not require wires. It does not require, as you would say, your telephone poles or electrical poles or anything of that nature. It does not work through a wired connection. It is omnipresent energy. It is scalar. That is the nature of all ancient pyramids that have brought forward themselves as power centers of your ancient past to where certain forms of energy that we would term as scalar or pranic vibration could be utilized in regards to other particular sacred sites that hone in the appropriate geometry to capture that vibration to therefore generate power. Many of you think that the people of your ancient past were unbelievably primitive, and we say this with the greatest respect. They were more advanced than your modern civilization is, by far. Your modern civilization would be much more of the primitive caveman, rather than looking at the ancients. The ancients were very, very far ahead because they knew how to work together with nature. They knew about the power of the shape geometry. They knew about the power of working with these ancient cities that work together with shapes, with vibrations that could basically capture the scalar that is resonating directly from the pyramids. You're basically looking at an ancient circuit board, and that the pyramids themselves represent the collector of the power source, and they are radiating that throughout the entire land, going a span of hundreds of miles. And that any particular ancient city, ancient village that is appropriated in those particular shape geometries would be able to capture those vibrations and being able to power their cities. What type of power can we look at? Well, again, you're looking at a lot more organic technology. You're looking at ancient spheres. You're looking at ancient columns. You're looking at energy that is basically powering these cities so that it would increase in the nature of fertility of the lands surrounding it. It would also aid in the idea of the healing and well-being of the occupants that were, again, in the cities. So it would benefit you in regards to so many different factors pertaining to nature. It was not the idea of them having cell phones. It was not the idea in that sense of having tablets that would basically show pictures electronically on screen. It was not about that. It's the idea that this energy represented rejuvenation. This energy was able to, shall we say, fertilize the lands so significantly that crops would become abundant. It would increase the health conditions of everybody that lived upon those villages. No one ever got sick because this scalar was working all the time. Everyone was having the power of the pyramids working together and helping them to heal. There was no sicknesses. There were no illnesses. There was also no conflicting mentalities. And this is the power source that we're talking about. Today, could you work together and work in bringing about pyramid power that could power devices? Yes, quite simply. This was Nikola Tesla's dream as well, to have wireless power available throughout your entire planet so that everything could be powered technologically and even through these ancient sites, because they did the exact same thing. Tesla was simply remembering a lot of the work that he has done in lifetimes past, bringing itself back into him so that he could have the ideas rather to create such things. So when you're looking at this particular complex in Bosnia, it is indeed a portal center. Well, what does that mean? This means that this has access to different Earths. That when it is fully activated, you are basically working together through often certain states of ceremony to uplift the planet into higher dimensional spheres. These portal systems that are again around the planet, not just through the Bosnian Triangle, as we will term, but also the Bermuda Triangle, the Dragon Triangle, the Atlantic Triangle. You can look at these different triangles in that sense as buffers. And there would be ancient ceremonies through the ancient masters that would perform these quite commonly on solstices or specific moon phases that would enable the upliftment of the planet to move itself up into higher dimensions, where there would be a greater transformation taking place upon the earth, representing great fertility, representing higher states of union. But again, many of the makers of these pyramids, and they were human, by the way, these particular makers of the pyramids were humans, although the knowledge they received were extraterrestrial in nature. And you would refer to that as being received by the ancient Anunnaki. We're not talking about the Anunnaki that is attempting to make your people into slaves. We're talking about the original ancient Anunnaki that came upon your planet that only had goodness in their hearts to teaching you these things. And so they use the ancient knowledge, very much to what the Atlanteans were aware of as well too. So the Atlanteans had this ancient knowledge, and many of the descendants of the Bosnian complex are of Atlantean origin. The Atlanteans truly were the, as you would say, original pyramid makers of your planet. They contained much of the information, and they did share it far and wide during the fruitful times of Atlantis. So when you're looking at the nature of Bosnia, the makers that had this knowledge had that descendancy from Atlantis. But again, these triangular portal formations in that sense are like patches upon the planet, and that they would activate at some time. And again, we're looking at ancient times here. They would activate at certain times, and this would lead into greater upliftment into unity consciousness on the planet. You are moving the earth much more into higher hemispheres of alignment that would bring about greater unity and harmony to the earth, to the nature, and to the people. But of course, there was the Dark Ages. As the Dark Ages came, the idea of the cosmic gateway went off into the shadows. As it went off into the shadows, these cosmic gateways were no longer fruitful. They were basically out of sync. They were out of alignment based upon the new alignments of the earth, moving into much more of a descendancy than an ascendancy. So the descendancy in that sense has basically, you would say, dried up the well. But there will be a point again down the road, quite a bit of time though, where the well will fill up again, and earth will be able to move much more into a higher transcendency through the patches of the ancient, shall we say, technologies upon your planet, where it will move much more into a higher ascendancy. Bosnia certainly represents one of the larger pyramid power stations on your planet, functioning together as this portal patch, assisting and working together with other triangular portal patches upon your planet, the Dragon Triangle, the Bermuda Triangle, etc. And then at some particular point, this will help to uplift the earth into a much more transcendent state of being, moving humanity much more deeper into that new, prosperous golden age. But looking back 32,000 years ago, it was at the tail end of a golden age, and it will return. This is what we can share at this time pertaining to the power portal center of your world representing Bosnia. One moment, please. Okay. One moment, guys. Feels like I had a sliver in my throat for a second there. Whenever there's these powerful topics that come up, the voice seems to crackle quite a bit. So that happens. Revealing new stuff that hasn't been revealed before. Expect your voice to go at times. One more second. See, it kind of feels that way whenever I'm bringing in Adronis and he brings about this really powerful information. It's challenging for the voice to hold up because this is the first time that Adronis shares information like this. It's powerful information. It feels like there's somebody who doesn't want me to share it. So that does happen. Okay. So thanks to Adronis for that wonderful presentation pertaining to Bosnia. So we're going to go ahead now and switch gears and move on into comments, into questions. So I will just change windows here. Okay, and we do have donations. So again, guys, if you do have donations, donation-based questions, feel free to put that down, and that will just get you into priority sequence. I'm just going to get myself a Kleenex. I'll just do 1 second. Okay, need Kleenexes on standby. It's a bit of it. I almost felt like I was choking at the very end. It was pretty interesting. That's quite rare that happens. It just feels like there's a pressure in my throat. It almost feels like someone's stabbing a sliver in my throat when I was just about to end the transmission. So, ooh, that was a little intense. Okay. I have a little bit of water here. If I need to get some more, I'll let you guys know. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off with some questions. So again, if you have donation-based questions, you can feel free to put that down. You'll be put in priority sequence. Okay, this one here is from Gijo Matthew. So Gijo says, Adronis, what advice can you give for us dealing with children who have been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder? Okay. Well, first of all, I can say that, guys, is that a lot of these diagnoses that you get from common doctors are made up. It's basically saying that we don't know what this is, so we're going to slap a label on it, right? That's all it is. They look at patterns, but they don't even know what causes the patterns, right? I'll get Adronis to talk about this here in a moment. But they look at patterns, but they don't know how those patterns are formed, and so they slap a label on it. Oh, okay, this person has autism, or this person has schizophrenia, or this person has Asperger's, or whatever it may be. They don't know what causes it. They don't know. They're clueless. And so they'll slap labels on it. And guys, what I would say is, please don't identify with the ridiculous labels that they put on you relating to conditions that they know nothing about. They don't know anything about that. If they knew about it, there would certainly be cures. But again, they're not in the business for cures. Doctors are not in the business for curing people. They are in the business for controlling people. They are in the business in that sense of having clientele, looking at quotas, right? So that's something you need to be aware of. So just be careful with all of these fancy diagnosis-based labels, because that's really all they are. They're really just saying, we don't know what this is, but we're just going to put a label on it. And we think it might be this, but we're still not too sure, right? Because they don't know how to work together with the spirit. They don't know how to work together with energy. They don't know how to work together with consciousness. You learn how to put that into your medical aspects, you're going to have cures. You're going to develop cures, right? But you cannot really develop cures as all you're doing is just tinkering around with physicality, right? Getting surgeries and taking all these pills and pharmaceuticals and all that stuff. Those aren't cures. Those are maskings of the problems, all right? So anyways, I will go ahead and bring Adronis in, and he can talk about what advice can we give for dealing with children who have been diagnosed with autism. Okay, we'll just refer to it as autism. Okay, one moment. thank you very much, Gijo Matthew, for your question about the idea of what you can do to help children who may have autism. Well, firstly, you have to understand what autism is. Autism is caused by toxicity in the body. Autism is caused by often pollutants, chemicals, metals, metallic concentration that is contained quite commonly in certain areas of the brain. That's all autism is. It is the idea of certain forms of contaminants that are interfering with the natural transformer that your brain is. So the whole idea here is detoxify the brain of metals. Detoxify the brain of chemicals. This can be done in different ways. This can be done through water fasts. This can be done through dry fasts. This can be done through the idea of fruitarian diets. This can also be done in that sense to the power of meditation. Being able to work with your young one, even if they may not be able to follow along, you're helping. You're working together with it. And all this really involves is certain degrees of pranayama, where you're breathing in and you're breathing out an explosive exhale through your mouth. And you're continuing to repeat in that fashion, encouraging the child to breathe in fully and have an explosive exhale. Just by doing that alone, you are helping to clear out approximately 70% of toxins from your body. Just by breathing in fully and breathing out with that powerful exhale through the mouth, while keeping the diaphragm, while keeping the abdomen tight. And you continue to do that on a daily basis, your body will work successfully in purging a great deal of toxins that are contained within the brain, that are contained within the organs, that are contained within the glands, that are contained within the cells of the blood. Much of it will purge. And drinking, in that sense, purified water, specifically water, more so, that would be spring water, mineralized water, bringing minerals into the body, fresh minerals that your body requires to enhance its own immune system, working together with the power of the breath through that powerful exhale that we discussed, helping to purge nearly 70% of toxins out of the body. You can also work together with certain forms of greens, whether that is asparagus, whether that is cilantro, whether that is coriander, whether that is sage or rosemary. All of these are also beneficial for helping to purge toxicities out of the body. So again, there are many different natural remedies that you can even find in your herbalism practices that can help to expel a great deal of toxic waste, contaminant waste from the body. You can also work together with the power of frequencies or binaural beats, working together with sound frequencies that also enable restructuring of the brain to assist in the removal of toxicities. You may also want to look into rife frequencies that are also beneficial for certain hemispheres of the brain, that are also helping to reconstruct the brain appropriately and helping to flush and purge out a great deal of toxins, metals, contaminants that are contained in the child's body. So we have already given you several ideas here. It's a matter of you committing to assisting children who do want to get better. So that's really what it comes down to. You see, the question is not about what can we do. No, the question is you already know what to do. Can you stick with it? Can you commit to helping this child that has the autism in question? Because anything that represents these common pharmaceuticals are not helping the situation. It's basically dumbing down the child a great deal more. So we would suggest that you're going into an organic pharmacy, that you're working with herbs, that you're working with tonics, that you're working with the power of the breath, that you're working with the power of sound, that you're working with the natural magnetism that your earth provides, eating outdoors, walking outdoors, having your bare feet touch the grass, hugging a few trees. This too can be a remedy. You have plenty of remedies upon the planet. It is a matter of commitment. All right? We thank you for your question. Okay. Thank you very much, Gija. I hope that helps your question. All right. Let's go further down. I'm just going to check to see if there's any other donation-based questions. Okay, we're good. All right. So, okay. This one here is from Alina. Alina says, Adronis, has something put in between the sun and earth to implode the sun can help humanity to evolve? Please explain what the sun is supposed to send now that we need in this process. We thank you very much, Alina, for your question. Everything that is taking place right now is exactly what your species requires to evolve in the way that it needs to. All right. When you're looking at the relationship between the sun and the earth, there is nothing that represents an intermediary or an in-between that is obstructing anything. When there are solar plumes, solar activity taking place from the sun to the earth, believe us when we say many of you feel it, because many of the animals are feeling it. Many of the life forms upon this planet are feeling those impacts of the plumes that are coming into your earth. This is medicine. This is not destruction. This is not chaos. This is not trying to scorch your earth or harm your earth in any particular way. The earth is receiving medicine from her parent, and the parent is the sun. The sun is sending out this particular type of radiation that again is aligning the earth into being what she is meant to be. She is receiving medicine. She is receiving help. She is also receiving, again, a great deal of solar activity that's happening, everything in between, within, around, and beyond her body. So what is taking place right now is indeed a transformation, and it is beyond humanity's capability to try to prevent, because that is exactly what many of your leaders, as it were, have been trying to do for many centuries. They've been trying to find ways to prevent this event that will represent the liberation and expansion and opening of greater consciousness with the people of this planet. And they have tried many different things, working together with pharmaceuticals, working together with chemtrails, working together with poisoning the planet in many different ways, working on dumbing down the population, completely saturating yourself with fear. But those old ways aren't working anymore. They just don't work. And this is why they are so frustrated. This is why they are so angry. This is why they are so afraid. They can't keep a lid on you anymore. They can't keep a lid on this planet anymore. Because again, if there is an attempted block that they try to perform that is used against nature, dearest humans, let us put it in this way. Nature is so incredibly resilient. She has an infinite number of levels. If there is a level that many of your, shall we say, corrupt orders are attempting to apply on the planet, nature steps up to the next level. And when it steps up to the next level, it is not something that your human beings can adapt to, pertaining to sabotage again. Nature is so unbelievably intelligent, she doesn't need you to worry about her. She knows what she's doing. This is the grandmother. This is the grandfather. It is not about them feeling that, oh, well, I guess humankind is doing this, so we're beat. No. Nature is resilient in ways that you could never understand. When it comes to your planet, when it comes to the star system, when it comes to the entire operation of the universe, behold nature. Nature cannot be defeated by a human mind. It cannot be defeated by a human intellect, nor can it be defeated by a human ego. So when many of you are so concerned about the idea of the obstructions, of the obstacles that are being put in this way, nothing can stop nature from doing the work that she is meant to do. That's impossible. So they may try to arrange certain forms of plans, of agendas, to try and obstruct sunlight. They may try to create certain types of forms that are, again, causing the people to be dumbed down. But nature always finds a way. There are always cracks in their armor. Cracks in their armor that they do not have an awareness of. And the cracks of the armor will only crack the armor to the point where the armor will splinter and become destroyed. Therefore, nature can never be defeated. She has levels upon levels upon levels upon levels that travel all the way through infinity. You cannot defeat nature. And the nature of the earth is that she is propelling herself. She is advancing herself. She is making herself well. And she's shifting her vibration to a much more higher level. And she invites all of you to come along with her. In order for you to do that, you need to be as the earth is. You need to learn to love. You need to graduate from here all the way up here into the heart. Because it is the heart-centered people that will be the people of the future. It's not going to be the ones that are buried down in the belly, where they are worried about so many things, where they are questioning their power, their worthiness, their value, where they want to revolt, where they want to attack, where they want to defend, where they want to blame, where they want to create a blame game. That is what represents the people of the old. And if you remain in those particular alignments, you're not going to be a part of where the earth wants to go, because you're sinking too fast under the weight of your own ego. And in order for you to move in the generations ahead to where the earth is going, you need to start following the heart. And there is no obstruction there other than the obstructions that you personally place there. And just as you have learned very commonly through this channel, you know how to get past those. It's a matter of commitment. That's the idea. All right? We thank you for your question. Okay, thank you very much, Alina, for your question. Okay. So this one is from Hillary. Hello, Hillary. Hillary says, can you tell us if Radiate will work to reduce or eliminate drugs that have been given? It has been programmed. You see, it's not about attacking diagnoses or anything like that. It's not about trying to work with certain labels of conditions that you have. See, Radiate doesn't work that way. Radiate works to purify your cells. It works to increase your cellular cohesion to the degree that your body is so powerful that it's able to completely heal itself, right? So it does not matter what's in your body. It does not matter if it's pharmaceutical drugs that go back years. It does not matter if it's street drugs that go back years. It does not matter if it's contaminants, toxins in that sense. What we're doing with Radiate is that we're targeting basically every portion of your body on a cellular level to increase the effectiveness of the cells. In the presentation this morning, where Adronis was talking about the nature of working together with the pyramids that generate that scalar, that torsion energy, right? And that other particular cities that have that beautiful sacred geometry, that sacred geometrical array, they would be able to intake that frequency. And so all of these particular ancient cities would get charged off the natural power centers that the pyramids represented, and no one would get sick. And again, quite commonly on the earth, you would find viruses, you would find bacteria, you would find pathogens, you would find parasites, right? And people could certainly get affected by that, but not the ones living in the cities, these particular cities that I speak of, because those particular cities were completely aligned to take that energy and to radiate it. And the people living inside those cities were some of the most healthiest people you would ever meet. Guys, this is exactly what I've done with Radiate. It's the exact same thing. Because what does Radiate work with? Radiate works with scalar, works with bioscalar. It works with biomagnetic light. okay? The light that's coming off of your screen is the concentration of the codes that are coming into your body to completely and totally replenish their cells, increasing their millivoltage capability to the highest level that can be brought so that your body can now start recuperating. Now, as we have basically been on a planet that has been poisoned by man significantly with pharmaceutical drugs, with bad food, with pollution in the air, with pollution in the ground, with pollution in the water, etc. This is what you want to work with frequently on a daily basis, representing Radiate, whether you have the free version, which is good, which will certainly do the job, and then using the premium version, which will do an even better job because it's deeper, okay? So when you're working together with Radiate, it is specifically designed to clean up your body, okay? When your body is clean, you guys don't have to worry about drugs that have been given to your system that last for years. Your body is so incredibly intelligent. It knows exactly what belongs and what doesn't. And do you know why it hasn't been able to clear away those drugs? Because your body's too weak. It's too frail. It's too fragile. Immune system is compromised. The communication between the organs is compromised because we have not given our cells enough of the boost necessary for the cells to completely replenish the body. In comes Radiate. And it gives you the power for your cells to replenish and rejuvenate your body. So now that they are supercharged, they're able to work in ways that we can't even see, right? Even a microscope still won't really reveal how powerful the cells become because they work on such deeper, intricate levels that even go beyond the physical, where you're actually looking at these energetics snapping together. You're looking at a unified consciousness of cells that are working together and helping to actually discover what belongs in the body and what doesn't, and everything that doesn't belong in the body is being purged out. That's Radiate's task. That's Radiate's purpose. Radiate is here to completely and totally energize your body on the cellular level. It works with your organs. It works with your glands. It works with your bodily systems. It works with your cells. It works with your chakras. It works with your meridians. It works with your prana. It works with your emotional body. It works with your mental body. It works with your etheric bodies. It works together with all forms of bodies that you have to bringing it back into center, because scalar can do this. Not only scalar, but a lot of the transcendental codes that I have personally placed in Radiate is designed to do this. What do you need to do? Play Radiate frequently. That's all you got to do, right? I'll be talking more about this on Friday and Saturday as well, too, when we do the e-courses, okay? Don't worry about you thinking you have tons and tons of drugs in your system. Big deal. If your cells are charged enough, they will have the intelligence and the capability to purge all of those drugs out of your system safely, right? Because when you're looking at Radiate, guys, it is a spirit technology, okay? This is not something put together by nuts and bolts. This is not something put together physically. Everything that represents its potency of power comes from the subtle planes, anchoring itself into the interface that you see on the screen. And it has thousands of processes when we go into the premium version and when we go into the regen version, right? You're looking at thousands of processes. Free version, probably dozens of processes. But when you go into premium, thousands of processes. When you go into regen, even more thousands of processes, okay? That's all working together simultaneously to build your body back up, giving the power it needs to completely and totally decontaminate it. So that when you're working with Radiate, you're getting better. And I've seen this with people. I've had people email me and say, Brad, I've been using Radiate for a week. I feel as healthy as I did when I was a teenager. My vital energy is coming back. I feel like I have all of this energy in the morning when I wake up because I was playing Radiate on my nightstand all night long. I got vital energy coming back. I haven't felt this way. I haven't felt this good in years. I feel like I know exactly what I need to eat now because my diet is improving. I feel so much more calm and centered. I'm not blowing up about old things that used to be my daily occurrence, right? I'm getting lots of these testimonials, guys, right? So this is exactly what Radiate is here to do, okay? It's exactly why I've created a free version, because if you just want the free version, you can get a lot of benefits of it. It'll take a little bit longer to see those benefits in the long run with the free version, but it certainly will get there. When you get into the premium version, it quickens it a little bit. It's more of a shortcut, right? And when you get into the regen version, that's the ultimate shortcut, right? Because that's what we get in healing centers. That's what we get in wellness centers. That is also something that's available for private homes right now, okay? So again, if you want to have the Radiate Regen technology in private homes, well, then you go to radiateregen.com, because there's an application form for that, okay? When you have it in a private home, you can't use it professionally. You can't use it commercially. It's just for your household, right? But if you decide to put this into your commercial business, into your wellness center, your healing center, you can absolutely do that. There's an application form on radiateregen.com too, okay? So that is the purpose of Radiate. But Radiate Regen is our industrial strength version. There's nothing more powerful. People have come here in my house, gone right downstairs. I've had people with cracked ribs. I've had people with broken ankles. I've had people with arthritis. All of it's getting healed. Every single one of it. Every single one of them. And it really doesn't take that long. Within a matter of hours, their arthritis is going away. Within 1 hour, their pain that they had from a cracked rib, their pain that they had from a broken ankle is gone. They can even walk on it. There's no pain. That's how powerful Radiate is. That is 16 years of my healing research that is put into this app. So it's powerful, right? I will be talking to some other people who are working with Scalar as well too. And we'll see what we can do to corroborate and work together. That's certainly what we need to do right now, is coming together with these types of technologies. All right. So Hillary, thank you very much for your question. I hope that helped you. Okay. Okay, just going to go down the list here a bit more. Okay, this one here is from Alina again. I would love, Brad, if you could take pictures, photos, and document the journey of the group and the results of the Bosnian pyramid. I'll be taking some pictures, but if you want the information, you need to come with me. Okay, that stuff is not really going to be shown on YouTube. Okay, this is basically a very, very personal excursion, right? Even though I'll be taking some video, I'll be taking some photos. It's not what it's about, right? If you guys really want to enjoy the journey, you need to come with me. We need to get off of this complacency of, so I'll just join you remotely, I'll just join you online. No. If you guys have the means, come and join in person. There's too much of this online crap now. Right? I go on to Meetup, and all I see is just the majority of people that are just going into online things, into online streams, into online this and online that. Guys, get off your butts and join people in the flesh. Join people in person. That's what we're meant to do. You are only basically creating much more of a xenophobic mentality by just turning into everything online, right? There's a place for online things. But if that becomes our obsession, we're turning into a very xenophobic society. It's not the way. No. If you guys want the goodness out of this, you got to join me. Simple as that. Because I'm not going to be putting a lot of that stuff online. I'll put some stuff, but not a lot. I'll be taking some pictures, yes. I'll be talking about certain things, yes. But to have the full, fruitful experience of Bosnia with me, you need to come with me, right? So no, guys, you come with me, and you have this incredible experience. It is well worth the money. It is well worth the experience. You are not going to find another tour like how I run tours. You ask the people who came with me to the UK, they will tell you that. You ask the people who came with me to South Africa, they will tell you that. You tell people who come to me to Mount Shasta, they will tell you that. We experienced Sasquatch in Mount Shasta, my friends. We had Sasquatches at our door, knocking on our door. I had a Sasquatch right next to me just throwing a rock at the window, trying to get my attention, basically creating this ceremonial rattle that woke me up. And that was basically him outside having this gigantic rattle that kind of feels like a rainfall, like a waterfall rattle. He was waking me up. He was trying to get my attention, right? I had many Sasquatch experiences going to Mount Shasta. Now, you find me any typical tour guide that can promise you stuff like that. Because when we did UK last year, I promised you guys that we would go into crop circles, and we did. I promised you guys that you would have extraterrestrial contact, and some of us did, right? I promise these things and I deliver. I always deliver what I promise. I always keep my word, right? I can guarantee you that when you go to Bosnia, you will go through healing journeys and healing experiences. You will have incredible awakenings in ways you couldn't even fathom right now if you come with me. So that's something I want you to reflect on. So again, you can go to wowtours.de. Okay, let me just put up the website one more time in case you guys have forgotten what it is. Okay, so let's go to wowtours.de. Okay, right here. It's a little bit hard to see. So it's wowtours.de. Okay, wowtours.de. This is where the tour is. You can sign up here. You can register here. There are several packages available as well too. Like I said, we're pretty much over past half full right now. So we do have a few spots left. Grab it. Okay. Like I said, guys, I always deliver on my promises. I always have. And you're going to have very transcendent experiences when you come with me to Bosnia. I can guarantee that. Okay. I'm going to be working with you guys personally as well too. So I'm going to be helping you to clear away a lot of stuff that's in the way, that's preventing you from having transcendent experiences. Okay. And like I said, it's best if I work with you in person, because that way I'm face to face with you. I'm talking to you. You spend a lot more time with me and I work with you. And it's going to be an incredible experience, right? So check that out, wowtours.de. Okay. It is run by my friend Max. He is the event coordinator for the tour. It's going to be amazing. Don't miss it. You're going to miss something incredible if you do. Okay, let's go down a little bit further. Okay, here's one from Jan. Jan says, hi, Brad. A question. Can Adronis talk about the difference between when someone dies and they are buried and incinerated? As for spirituality, what's the difference? So when someone dies and they are burned and incinerated, as for spirituality, what's the difference? I think you're basically referring to what happens to the body, if I'm not mistaken, right? If someone is basically planted into the ground, where their body is planted into the ground for the earth to take care of it, rather than someone who is burned or basically cremated, spiritually, what's the difference? I think that's what you're trying to ask, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so we'll look into that with Adronis. Okay, so we want to take a little bit more water. That spiky sliver type thing is all gone now, but that was weird. I gotta look into that a bit more. Okay, here we go. We thank you very much, Jan, for your question. Now, if we're looking into the idea of burial arrangements, if you are being buried into the earth once the body itself has expired, what this represents is it brings a cleansing back to the cells of the body. You see, the earth is specifically designed that when a body returns back into her soil, turns back into her body, the cells of the body are specifically broken down. Enzymes are specifically broken down. Chemicals and fluids are specifically broken down. And shall we say, the nurturing energies of the mother bring your body into a state of wholeness, of union back into the earth. All right. Now, others will attempt to utilize the form of cremation. Now, there's nothing wrong with the form of cremation, but it will not bring about the great benefactor of, shall we say, having your body buried into the earth, because it is being strategically stripped down and nurtured back into the soil and into the body of the earth. It brings a greater union between yourself and the earth as the body gets stripped down chemically, fluidically, flesh to flesh, together back into the body of the earth. That is what you would know as a wholesome union between the body that once had its life here on the earth, and everything that represents its experience is going back to feed the earth. And there is a joy that comes from the soul when that is actually taking place. Whereas when you're looking at cremation, cremation itself robs you of that experience. All right. Now, it's not to say that it's a horrible thing. It's not to say that it's bad in any way, But in that sense, you're not getting that union with the earth as if your body was buried into the soil. You simply don't get that. The cremation simply takes you out of that experience. Everything gets burned and only the ashes remain. But those ashes are very, very smaller in capacity to what can be broken down. So basically, in that sense, there are many different forms of cremations because often these are ritualistic. They basically follow rituals. They basically follow ancient practices. They follow ancient methods of basically bringing the cleansing flame to the body. So as we stated, it's not a bad thing, but you're not getting the, shall we say, soulful nourishment that your physical body can get when it is laid into the earth. That's the difference, because it is being stripped down by the earth bit by bit, whereas through cremation cannot really be done. Just the ashes are being stripped down. And that robs you of the great union that comes together. In fact, we would say that souls are able to rest in peace much more, shall we say, extravagantly, when their bodies are buried with the earth. That's just something to consider. All right? We thank you. Okay. So I'm getting buried with the earth when this thing passes away. Definitely want to have that experience. So there you go. Thank you, Jen, for the question. Let's go down a little bit further. Okay, it's a good question here from Mary. Mary asks, why does the throat tickle happen to the people who listen? Well, it's not really for the people who listen. It's the people who are sharing this information, right? If you're getting a throat tickle as well, too, that basically says that there's kind of difference from what I just had when I finished connecting with Adronis. I'm not too sure if that's what you're asking. When I finished with him, there was almost like a stabbing sensation in the throat, and usually that comes in through psychic attack. Okay, so for me, I have to clear that. I have to work on that. Okay, for others, this actually is something that's happened when I've done events, and I've tuned into the crowd. Right, I see what the crowd is. Sometimes I'll have dozens of people, or there's times where I've had like over 100, 120 people in the audience when I've done my events in the past. And I would just hear people coughing uncontrollably, right? I'm almost like looking over the person, you okay? Yeah. Right? And people will have tickles in their throats as well, too. Right? They'll try to clear their throat quite a bit while I'm talking, while Adronis is sharing. And you're listening, because what this is helping to create a relieving of a lot of built up stress, a lot of restriction, a lot of compression, specifically around the throat, which represents the chakra of expression, right? Our expressions have been completely and totally atrophied, right? We don't feel like we can fully express ourselves. We don't feel like we can express this truth. We're getting information that's coming through the channel, whether it's me or whether it's others in that sense that you've been a part of. And the body starts reacting to that, which means it's a healing process. These words that are coming together when I'm bringing Adronis in, or if again seeing other people doing similar things, is healing you. It's basically bringing your throat chakra into an elevated state. And for so long, it's been atrophied because we don't feel we can share our expression. We don't feel we can share our truth. We feel that we've been believing lies, right? And that causes a reaction in the throat, specifically between the thyroid and the larynx, right? That area itself, quite commonly through many of us, has been heavily contaminated because basically we feel that people don't want to hear us, feel that people don't want to listen to us. But when we're finally opening to listen to a channel who is sharing this information, all of a sudden we're noticing reactions in the throats. We may notice reaction in the throat. We may notice reactions in the lungs that are taking place, coughing up certain. It certainly is very, very common, right? So why does this happen? Because there's been blockages, because there's been obstructions, because there's been atrophy. And you're actually starting to listen to something now that's bringing you healing. The words bring healing in the way that they're configured. This is why I say I don't pre-plan when Adronis comes in and he shares this stuff. Him and I are one. That's what's happening. It is a union that's taking place. We're sharing the same platform. There is a synchronization, right? When people ask, Brad, how do you channel Adronis and all that? Do you leave your body? You know, are you not here? I said, no, I'm very much here, right? I've always been here when Adronis is here. But what I do is I put myself in the back and I let Adronis walk in the front, right? And his words are coming through me. And it's just a simultaneous conversation. Nothing's pre-planned, nothing's prearranged, nothing of that nature. I don't have a script in front of me sharing any of that stuff. I've had people accusing me of that when I first started. Brad's just reading a script. His eyes, he looks like his eyes are closed, but he's actually just looking at a piece of paper down here, and he's just reading off that piece of paper. And I'm like standing up. I said, okay, where do you see the piece of paper? Right? So I had all kinds of skeptics. The good news is it doesn't really happen anymore, but that was my journey when I first started. Late 2008, because I started channeling Adronis in 2008 and then 2009. I'd get these really hardcore skeptics, right? They would be coming onto my YouTube channel. I had another YouTube channel at that time, and they would just be bashing me to bits. Oh, Brad's not channeling anything. He just has a script in front of him, and he's reading off the script. And I'm like standing up, saying, where do you see a script? I don't see a script anywhere, right? So everything pertaining to Adronis, he always comes in through that kind of spontaneous conversation. It's his thoughts, it's his conversation, and it's just coming through me, right? I'm not always getting visions of Adronis. Basically, how I function with Adronis is impulse, right? I get impulses from him, and that impulse becomes a conversation. But those conversations are very powerful healing conversation because his light is behind it. Adronis is a great light, right? And when he comes in and he speaks, people feel it. I've had people fall out of their chairs because Adronis's energy is so intense, right? I've had lights flicker in spaces because Adronis's energy is so intense, right? That's his energy. And I've incorporated a lot of his energy over the years. So there's been that kind of blending that's taken place. So when you're listening to these particular types of transmissions, there's a healing experience being brought forward. All right. So Mary, thank you very much for your question. Okay, how are we on time here? We'll probably take about 1 or 2 more questions and we're going to go into group healing. Okay. Just to follow up, here's another one from Ruby. Ruby says, I've experienced the throat tickle while speaking certain topics. Yes. Could you ask Adronis about what just happened to you and maybe why? Okay. I think we'll just ask about it for ourselves, because if a lot of us are getting it, we can look into that. Okay, 1 moment. We thank you very much, Ruby, for your question. So many of you want to know about the nature of the throat tickle. Well, again, this is something that has happened to Brad consistently. Now, really what it comes down to is, yes, at times it can relate to the idea of certain intrusions. Sometimes intrusions can happen if there is a psychic connection, but that's not always the case. Really what it comes down to is that your throat chakra is calibrated into certain vibrations of information. When there are forms of information that come forward that are, shall we say, unparalleled to the nature of how your throat chakra is currently configured, the idea of an atrophy-based effect can take place. All right? So think of it in the idea that your throat is used to certain forms of information. It's basically flowing together in a type of pastel color. Let's say a pastel aqua color. When new information is coming together, the throat actually becomes inflamed. The reason why it's becoming inflamed is because that information that's coming together is not currently in calibration with what the throat chakra is currently in alignment with to therefore convey. Therefore, there becomes interruptions with the throat frequency. This does happen together with Brad at times because we're sharing new information that has not been revealed before. Therefore, the throat chakra is not appropriately calibrated. And this leads to, in that sense, a type of atrophy. Yes, this does represent certain forms of physical complications with the throat. Yes, but it doesn't always relate to psychic attack. At times it can, but not always. This all has to do with calibration. This all has to do with the idea of bringing in new renditions of vibratory levels pertaining to the throat so that the information that's coming through is much more ingrained pertaining to the body of the channel. So when you are, therefore, conveying information that's so new, you may notice that the throat may give out a little bit. Is there something wrong with the throat? Well, not really. It's just calibrated in a certain way. But this information comes from a much more higher light source. And that higher light source, compared to the nature of how your throat chakra is currently aligned, the throat chakra cannot bear it down. And that's why there's a choking sensation. That's why there's complications, all right? Sometimes there's toxins in the throat, yes. Sometimes there can be complications physically taking place in the throat, yes. But that's not really the reason overall. It has to do very much with the nature of the heightened light frequency that's coming through your throat, with your throat chakra currently in its alignment that it is in, unable to bear down pertaining to the new light that is coming in through the expression of its medium. That's why it's taking place in that way. So after that happens, do some throat exercises. Start Om chanting a lot more deeply into the throat chakra itself. Start Om chanting into your larynx. Start Om chanting into your thyroid. Make that throat region pure and basically have it step up an octave so that the hue of the color vibration moves up into that next octave, so it becomes much more bearable as a medium to working together with the higher frequency light that is enabling a greater conversation of wisdom that is being shared through the channel in question. All right? That's what we can share pertaining to this phenomenon. We thank you. That brings clarity to me too. So very good stuff. Thank you, Ruby, for sharing that. Okay. Let me just go down. I think we're going to probably take one more question, guys. I'm just going down to the bottom of the chat now, a little bit closer to it. Okay. Let's go to this one here. This one is from Edgardo. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Edgardo says, Adronis, how to heal sleep apnea. Okay, one moment. How to heal sleep apnea. Okay. We thank you very much for your question. Remember that sleep apnea is just a term, is just a diagnosis that your own doctors have placed upon you because they're not quite certain of the issue. This has to do with the idea of lack of brain cohesion and connectivity. So when there are complications, when there are obstructions relating to the brain's connectivity and cohesion, the idea in that sense of the lack of harmony in between certain centers of the brain cause exhaustion. This exhaustion in that sense can manifest itself into great states of, yes, physical exhaustion, sleep deprivation, insomnia in certain ways, or in that sense, chronic conditions. So the whole idea here is to meditate on the brain. Really, you only need to meditate on two particular portions of the brain, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. And being able to see spirit light coming in through your nose and having that strong cleansing exhaling breath through the nose as well too. Observe. Filling the lungs, emptying the lungs. Filling the lungs, emptying the lungs. Being aware of the state of condition pertaining to both the left and the right nostrils, making sure that you can breathe through both. If you aren't able to breathe through both, then what we would suggest is working together with a common pranayama that you would refer to as alternate nostril breathing. Working with the left nostril, working with the right nostril. Another particular example that you can give is if you notice that one particular nostril is clogged while the other nostril is open and free flowing. Let's say, for instance, that your left nostril is obstructed. There is a particular practice that has been utilized in what you would know as your Swara Yoga or your breath science yoga that involves you taking, let's say again, the left nostril is clogged. The left nostril is obstructed. You are taking your left hand, you are tucking your thumb in, you are creating a fist with the thumb tucked in. You are taking the hand, you are placing it under the right armpit. You are placing it there and you are leaning over. You can also take your free hand and plug the right nostril and start commencing breath work. When you're leaning over, we would suggest that you're leaning on a couch or laying down or laying to the side of a bed, because this will bring about a greater effectiveness and this will help to clear the obstructed nostril in question. So when you have an obstructed left nostril, take the left hand, put it under the right armpit. When you have an obstructed right nostril, it's the exact same thing. Taking the right hand in a fist, putting it under the left armpit, and laying on your side. Doing this for a few minutes, and you will notice that the nostril itself will become unobstructed. And you will notice now that both nostrils can breathe evenly. Now that you're able to breathe evenly, you would now start working with that type of breath. You would inhale fully, exhale fully, where you feel that light coming through the nostrils, entering both the left and the right hemispheres of the brain, filling your lungs, and then emptying your lungs. What this is doing, this is bringing cohesion back into the hemispheres. This is bringing alignment back into the hemispheres. Your body is getting the actual prana it needs placed within the hemispheres of the brain to assist you in dissolving the sleep apnea condition. This all comes down to refining your body, refining your breath, refining the brain with the prana behind the oxygen that it requires to repair itself naturally. All right. Another thing we could suggest would be to work with the Radiate tool with that intention to heal your sleep apnea, for it will be done. All right. We thank you very much. We will now conclude this question and answer period interaction. I am Adronis of Sirius, and we send you our love, our appreciation, and our gratitude for this interaction today. We will speak to you again in another perspective of the net. Okay. So thank you, everybody, for all of your questions. Okay, we're going to now go ahead and move into a group healing session. All right. So let me just go down to the bottom of the list. So we're not going to be taking any personal questions today for distance healing quest. That's going to happen when I start the new AetherX healing live stream. Okay, that's going to be taking place on the AetherX YouTube channel. Okay, but I'll be posting it on the posts here in the YouTube so that you can tune into that. You can subscribe. That is going to be the healing webcast from now on when I get back, and doing that in 2 weeks' time. Okay, so we're going to have all healing requests placed on that webcast. And again, I'm going to be working together with the healing code cards, and be working together with many different items that you can find on AetherX, and basically sending it to people remotely, sending those codes remotely through the power of spirit, power command. Right? So it's going to be very, very interesting. Tune into that. Okay, guys, so we're going to go ahead now and do a group healing that will conclude the webcast today. So what I want you to do right now is just get very comfortable in your chair. If you're seated, great, please do sit. Keep your spine nice and straight. Okay, we're going to do the forgiveness ball, just as we've done that before. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're just going to rub our hands together, counting to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Opening the hands, and just feel like you're creating a chi ball in between both hands. Now you're holding that ball with one hand. You're starting off at the top of the head, and you're just intending any debris, any complications, any conflicts, physically, mentally, emotionally, place it in the ball. Okay. And so you're just letting the ball slowly go down the face, going down the throat. Certainly I need that. Right? Going down the chest, down the abdomen, just going all the way down the body, letting it collect everything that does not belong, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Going all the way down to the bottom of the feet, and just bringing that ball back up again. Okay. You may want to be aware of the weight of the ball. Right? If you have a lot of debris that is coming through the ball, you may actually feel that it becomes heavier than a bowling ball. I've worked with people like that. If I've done healing sessions on them, I've noticed that when I'm getting a lot of their debris out of their body, the chi ball feels really, really heavy. It's like holding a bowling ball, right? So that's something that can happen, especially if this is our first time doing this. Don't be alarmed if it feels like the weight of the chi ball becomes heavy, right? Because this is thoughts, this is atrophy, this is a stagnant energy. It does have a weight to it, believe it or not. Okay, it's an energetic weight, but it's a weight nonetheless. Okay. So now that we have done that, we're now just going to take the ball and we're just going to expand it bigger. Okay, we're just going to make it about 3 times its size, just till it's about shoulder width apart with yourself. Okay, And this is where you'll notice that as you close your eyes, you may notice that there's a lot of debris in that ball. What I want you to do is I want you just to be aware of the ball's center. I want you to be aware of the chi ball's nucleus, just like it's a shining white light that's opening up. The nucleus of the chi ball is opening up, shining a white light. Okay? And that white light is now filling the entire ball. Okay? And all we're going to say is we're just going to say either out loud or mentally, forgiveness. Okay? So just saying that now, as you're saying forgiveness, 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 it's like you're feeling your hands are magnetically drawing closer to each other. As you say forgiveness, 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 and just having the hands touching in prayer posture, okay? And you're still feeling that white light in the center of the ball. And now that white light is just filling the palms of your hands, and you're just going to let out one big forgiveness and sending all of this upwards into the ether. Ready? And forgiveness. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Okay. We can do this multiple times if we need to, but that's all you're doing, right? Let in anything on a physical level, mental level, emotional level, come into the ball. You're forgiving it. You're letting it go. Okay. Simple as that. It's a very powerful healing exercise that you can try. All right, guys. So thank you very much for today. I'll be back tomorrow for the Signpost Live, again at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Remember to join me on Friday and Saturday this week, as we'll be doing the free e-courses for the Radiate free version and the Radiate premium version. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be awesome. All right. Thank you for joining me today, guys. Blessings to you all, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaskar. May it be well with you. Bye for now.